Today we have an interesting nonlinear first-order differential equation. We have dy by dx equal to 2 times the square of y plus 2 divided by x plus y plus 1. Now, nonlinear differential equations are pretty interesting. They often require us to be creative with our solution developments. And this is one of those cases. We really don't have a clear idea of how to start off the solution development because the right-hand side is this mess of x's and y's. So we might as well try to simplify things a little bit by taking note of the fact that in the denominator we have x plus y plus 1, so maybe we could turn the numerator into something similar. So let's write this as 2 times, we have y there already, and we have a 2 there, so let's write this as plus 1 and plus 1. Now let's expand by adding a 0 in the form of plus x minus x. That way, we notice that we have some cancellation taking place, or some simplification taking place. So we can write this as 2 times 1 plus 1 minus x divided by x plus y plus 1. Terribly sorry about that, whole thing squared. So that's the derivative of y with respect to x so far, and now let's do something very strange. We're going to take the 1 minus x divided by x plus y plus 1 term and set it equal to u. Okay, cool. So this implies that dy by dx equals 2 times 1 plus u whole thing squared. What we've done here doesn't seem very intuitive. In fact, our transformed differential equation is now a differential equation in 3 variables. We have y, x, and u. And that is, of course, far from ideal. But there's something we can do here. We could make use of the equation relating u to x and y to come up with a relationship between the derivatives of u and y with respect to x, because that can often be quite useful. How can that be useful? Let me show you what I'm talking about. I'm going to differentiate this equation for u in terms of x and y with respect to x. But the problem is I avoid the quotient rule like the plague. So we're going to make use of logarithms. We have log y equal to log 1 minus x minus log x plus y plus 1. And on differentiating with respect to, we have log u over here. Terribly sorry about that. On differentiating with respect to x, we have 1 by u du by dx equal to negative 1 by 1 minus x minus 1 by x plus y plus 1. And because of the chain rule, we have 1 plus dy by dx. Okay, cool. We have the derivative of u on one side and the derivative of y on the other, but still it looks like a mess of variables. Let's expand by u, meaning that we have du by dx equal to negative u by 1 minus x minus u divided by x plus y plus 1 times 1 plus dy by dx. Now, we could make use of the equation relating u to x and y and simplify this term just enough. So we have u divided by x plus y plus 1, and expanding using u, we have 1 minus x divided by x plus y plus 1, and we have the reciprocal of x plus y plus 1. Now, what if I were to expand using 1 minus x? So I already have a 1 minus x term, so let's square that one. And we have 1 by 1 minus x over here. Now, what you have here is the square of the u variable. So that means we have u squared divided by 1 minus x, which is pretty cool because it's a lot similar to the first term we have on the right-hand side. So this implies that du by dx equals negative u by 1 minus x, and we have this other negative u squared divided by 1 minus x term times 1 plus dy by dx. Okay, cool. That means we can factor out a negative u by 1 minus x term, so might as well make do with that. we have 1 plus u times 1 plus dy by dx. And now we can expand using 1 by x divided by u. So this implies that negative 1 minus x by u times du by dx equals 1 plus u times 1 plus dy by dx. And this further implies that negative 1 minus x divided by u squared times du by dx. And wait a second, first let me transfer the 1 and then expand using the reciprocal of u. Yeah, that sounds good. Then we have a negative 1. Okay, so the algebra did not go horribly wrong. And now we have these u and x terms on the left-hand side and a dy by dx term on the right-hand side. And recall when I said that a relationship between the derivatives would be useful. This should be more clear by now because we know how to express dy by dx in terms of the u variable. So that means we have 2 times 1 plus u squared on the right, and this equals a more hospitable looking left-hand side of a differential equation, whereby we have negative 1 by x by u squared times du by dx minus 1 by u plus 1. This is a lot more hospitable because a substitution here is quite evident. We could take the 1 by u plus 1 term and set it equal to the z variable, which implies that negative 1 by u squared du by dx equals dz by dx. And this implies that our transformed differential equation is now, for this term here, we would have 1 minus x times dz by dx minus z equal to 2 times, what exactly would u in terms of z be? That should be 1 by z minus 1, right? So that's what we have on the right-hand side. And on some further rearrangement of things, we have this term on the left-hand side equal to z plus 2 z squared divided by z minus 1 whole squared. And again, some further simplification, you can carry out the algebra yourselves. We would get z times z squared plus 1 as the numerator, and of course we're dividing by z minus 1 whole squared. Now this is a nice innocent looking separable differential equation in z and x. So let's solve it like that. We have z minus 1 whole squared divided by z times z squared plus 1 equal to 1 minus x, no wait, the reciprocal of 1 minus x dx. Now integrating with respect to the variables either side of the equation, you're going to need a partial fraction decomposition on the left-hand side, which is again just left as some annoying bit of homework. So on the left-hand side, we have the integral of what exactly? We have 1 by z minus 2 divided by 1 plus z squared dz, and on the right-hand side, we have negative log 1 minus x, plus a constant of integration, of course. So this implies that we have log z minus twice the inverse tangent of z equal to the negative of the logarithm of 1 minus x plus c. Now, what exactly was the z variable? Well, z was equal to 1 by u plus 1. So we have this thing now, 1 by u plus 1, and this equals negative log 1 minus x plus c. So we're trying to work our way back to an equation involving only the x and y terms. Now, what exactly was u equal to? Well, u was equal to 1 minus x divided by x plus y plus 1. So this implies that 1 by u plus 1 would be, well, x plus y plus 1 plus 1 minus x divided by x plus y plus 1. So again, we see some cancellation there for the x terms. We have y plus 2 divided by x plus y plus 1. Okay, cool. That was fairly simple. So finally, we have the logarithm of y plus 2 divided by, the reciprocals there. So that means we have 1 minus x. Again, terribly sorry, but thankfully the addition thing did not go horribly wrong. Perfect. Okay, so we have this thing on the left-hand side minus twice the inverse tangent of the same thing, that is y plus 2 divided by 1 minus x. And this equals negative log 1 minus x plus the constant of integration c. And using the properties of the logarithm, we can write this term as log y plus 2 minus log 1 minus x. So obviously we have some nice cancellation taking place. And we have the interesting looking solution of the logarithm of y plus 2 minus twice the inverse tangent of y plus 2 divided by 1 minus x equal to a constant of integration c. And this implicit solution is pretty much the best we can do here, unless some of you ambitious folks would want to try something outrageous in the comment section. I, of course, would welcome that. I hope you enjoyed the video. Be sure to like and subscribe. Thank you. See you next time.